we're back. So who is this person on the phone here? That time in the back of his mind, the words Kyrie had spoken to him drifted up. Even if which does appear, there is no need to doubt it. Just believe in existence.
マトラ、今帰ってきたよ。せっかちだよね。
マリア、その電話の相手は誰だ？
Who the fuck is it?
誰なんだ？
変わる？はい、バトラ。
After getting the consent of the person on the other end, she held the receiver out to Battler.
はい。
Maria held the receiver out for him to take as though it was perfectly normal. Battler felt just a little bit of hesitation towards taking a receiver, because by acknowledging the existence of the person at the other end, he would have no choice but to admit it. Jerry had said it. There is no longer any need to doubt their existence. She's setting this up perfectly, basically. Whoever the person dressed up as Beatrice, pretending to be Beatrice, is, she set this up so perfectly to have Kyrie say what she just said before she dies. You don't know if she's dead yet. Battler didn't see her dead. Now, remember, Battler hasn't seen any of this shit. Battler hasn't seen any magic. He's taken everybody's word as faith value, and now he's going to be given his receiver, basically, after he's been told that by Kyrie, to believe whatever you fucking see, hear, or whatever, experience. So if this is the person dressed up as Beatrice on the phone, he's going to believe that it's actually a Beatrice, right? At that point, all she has to do is start cackling over the phone and talking like a Beatrice would talk. You don't know who it is. It could be anybody who's good at impressions. It could be anybody, literally, that's still alive, that maybe were shown to die in this magical farce earlier. It could literally be anybody. Hell, it could be Kraus, pretending to do a girl's voice like this. Oh, I'm Beatrice. Just that simple, basically. You're over the phone, you can't see shit. You fool Maria, that's it. I mean, you can fool a 9-year-old kid, wow. Now you're gonna try to fool Battler, basically, with the same thing. Let's see what happens, though. Battler took the receiver. After he did so, Maria briskly headed for the door. Battler, who was slightly fearful about finding out for sure who was on the other end of the receiver, questioned Maria before taking the call.
What? どこへ行くんだよ?
Hell are you going, girl?
マリアのテストの場所だよ。後ろ宮家の当主はバトラかマリアかどっちだろうね。
いくら殺されるぞ。
殺されないよ。儀式はもう終わってるもの。それに殺されても蘇らせてもらえるし、当主になってもなれなくても、もう私たちは黄金鏡に招いてもらえる。じゃあね。
待てよ、マリア!
Battler stretched his hand out to Maria's back as she left, but the cord of the receiver that he was gripping held him back like a chain. He readied himself. Battler put the receiver to his ear. Who's gonna be talking? You know it's not Kinzo, because Kinzo's dead. So he's not gonna be able to hear Kinzo's voice. I'm guessing it's gonna be somebody that sounds like Beatrice.
Congratulations!
There we go. Ha ha ha. There we go, guys. So this kind of threw me for a loop. The first time I saw this, I'm like, okay, well, fuck, she's actually real now, right? She's on the phone, she's talking to him. Remember, she's on the phone. He can't see her. He doesn't know who this is talking. They could use a voice changer, they could use whatever, dude. It's 1986. There's voice changers in 1986, baby. And we got the fucking song here. They're singing English, by the way, guys. If you couldn't tell. English. Congratulations. grew up mocking English filled his ears. The voice of a woman he did not know. Who the fuck? The inside of his head was starting to freeze up. Who in the hell?
Yes, I'm fine.
Not really, but that's a big clue, by the way. Who Billy Cheese really is. It's a big clue. Wow, that's another big clue. See you again. Have a nice day. Where did he say that before? The last laugh didn't sound like it was aimed at Battler. It was almost as though Kinzo was right next to the phone, cackling as well. Say my name, say my name.
出てみろよ。ハワイへご招待するぜ。やっとだ。やっと。長かったぜ。本当に今日まで長い日々だった。マジで1000年は待ったぜ。今日という日をよ。おかげさまをもちましてわらは大復活。サンキュー金蔵。特別に聞いてやってもいいぜ。
やれやれ、上機嫌にも程があろうが、もう少しは淑女らしく振る舞わんか。
Kinzo and Beatrice sat facing each other over the chessboard on the reception table. By the way, he did not hear anything Kinzo said. Battler. Also on the table were expensive cheeses and the like to go with the drinks. And there was a line of several empty wine bottles. Miss Beatrice rolled around her sofa in an unseemly way. She held a wine glass in one hand and in a good mood, and probably completely drunk.
今日は最高にご機嫌だから大サービスだ。おいおい金蔵、こんな年代物の寄付ワインなんか飾ってんだよ。1947年物かよ。今日開けなくていつ開けるつもりだ。それをアビセッコして遊ぼうぜ。空き瓶で殴りっこもしよう。
それは愉快だ。浮かれすぎであるぞ。羽目の外しすぎだ。
金蔵だって。我々に再会できて嬉しいだろ。シャバだ。うちよだ。わらわの肉体万歳。
お前が
イエーイ。おい金蔵の13人殺しの儀式のおかげでようやくわらわは復活した。だがあるといい。もうあなたが話せることなんと楽しいことか。そういえばお前とはあれだけ何度も引き込まれることがなきゃってきたのに、こうして普通にバンドで会話をしたの初めてだ。
And actually, so far, that is, by the way.
何やらとても新
And it's through a phone, it's not actually face to face.
今のポンちゃん聞こえたか。あいつ開けたぞ。マジでバカ探検士同愛に分けやがった。知るか。10キロのインゴット丸々と同じくらいするんだぜ。
ふざけるな。何がベアトリーチェだ。黄金の魔女だと。いい加減にしろ。どこにいやがれ。そこにクソジジイも一緒にいるのか。
Again, he's not hearing anything that Kinzo's saying. So, is he really there?
てめえらまとめてぶっ飛ばしてやる。今どこにいやがるんだ。こさえやれ。
なんだ、わらわに会えたのか。モテる女はつれや。キングがいる時に届くのはよせよ。待って、こっちはあるぜ。二人っきりの時は素敵な相手で愛してやるからね。
金蔵、気が変わった。マリアのテストにわらわはいつもそうなったの。
なんと気まぐれな。ではお前がバトラをテストするというのか。
いいだろう。あいつさ、お前の若い時に似てるからさ、キュンときちゃうんだよ。安心しろよ。あいつと二人きりになるのは今だけ。わらわはいつだってお前と二人きりだろう。だがもうわらわを四六時中束縛するのは勘弁。
そういうわけだ、バート。ドナのテストは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェが自ら執り行ってやる。バート。そう、このやつの正面玄関にバートラー。マジで頑張って
He got a full ass.
すぐに授業でぽっくり。
Practically, literally.
あら、独り占めにさせて。
屋敷の玄関だな。仕事だ。このクソったれな酔っ払いめ。俺がてめえの酔いを探して迎え酒には俺の熱いパンチをくれてやる。首を洗って待ってやがる。
Sadler impulsively slammed the receiver down. There was no need to talk to a receiver anymore. We need her face to face and settle this. So we got Kinzo doing Ria's test, and we got Beatrice doing Battler's test. Took the spear that I made by taking apart the hat stand and went outside without even an umbrella. Gonna run through the rain, baby. Hard to imagine that the young woman calling herself Beatrice would be waiting for me alone. I should probably assume that she'll be waiting with those supporting troops that Goda-san and Kumasawa-san for a spell. Going alone would be too reckless. Who's gonna get?
Goda-san!
Hey!
Kumasawa-san!
There we go. We'll see what happens to these guys.
俺だ！バトルだ！
I don't think they're opening alive here. Headed for the gardening storehouse first. Need all the help I can get. Goda-san's a burly man, so I can probably count on him to add some extra brawn. Kumasawa-san's knowledge and familiarity with the area as a senior servant might prove to be a huge weapon. Both of them have master keys, and they know more about the mansion than I do. They're pretty reliable allies, and I banged on the shutter and called out for them to open it. I remember that there was nothing they could do from the inside. I'd have to get the key back from them and open the shutter myself. Went around to the side, knocked on the small lattice window there, and opened it up.
ゴダさん、熊沢のばあちゃん、バートラだ。おい、起きろって。お。
The scene in the shed, lit by a dim light bulb, was all too bizarre.
ゴダさん。
I remember when I said we would come back to this scene. Let's see what happened here. A low ceiling beam hung 2 thick ropes. And at the ends, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were hanging by their necks. Holy shit. Damn, and I was looking through a narrow gap between all the various pieces of equipment thrown about, and I couldn't make out any more detail than that. So this is the only scene that Battler has actually seen of there being a murder scene, basically. This is literally the only one. The entire game, entire episode 4, this is the first and only one he's seen so far. So we've got, he's not even able to confirm their deaths, by the way, here. So you keep that in mind too. They could have some kind of trick set up where Kumasawa-san and Goda-san are still alive, but as, like I said, they're servants. They could have set up their own murder scenes, and they're not actually dead. Like, they could have had like a non-loop, like it might be attached to their fucking shirt or something inside the collar. It might be tied around their armpits or something, not actually around their necks, right? You can't see it because he's looking up at the window, up in the corner. He's not even seeing their faces. He's seeing the back of their heads, basically. Seeing that they're, on this goddamn incline. So of course they would have set this up after the phone call, right? After whoever's calling herself Beatrice, I call it Battler, told Maria to go wherever Maria is going to go. And then they're like, oh, you need to set this shit up because Battler's going to be here pretty soon. And try to get you guys to come with him. So now they set up this fucking kill scene. So obviously I'm thinking that these two are faking their deaths here. And again, this is the only one we've seen through Battler's eyes in the entire game, entire episode 4. We haven't seen any other scenes, and we can't confirm anybody else's death. We still can't confirm these two people's death, right? So he can think that they're dead. We don't know that's true. I don't think it's true at all. I think they're still alive. So we'll go ahead and keep going on with the story though. But you've already gotten my theory here. This is not a real kill scene. Of course, they couldn't get out without somebody's help, right? So of course, the first person you would think to set up the scene would be them two themselves. And you could also say that, oh yeah, they might have killed themselves. They might have committed murder. They might have committed suicide. But I doubt that's the case. Oops, did I read that line? Hold on. It was I was looking through a narrow gap at all the various pieces of equipment thrown about, so I couldn't make any more detail than that. Yeah. They were hanging by their necks to the untrained eye, basically. Like I said, you could easily set up a scene where you got like a full Nelson harness, and then like a little like loose rope around your neck, and then you hang it up, and it's only putting pressure on your armpits and shit. And you can just stand still for a couple, like 5 minutes maybe max, before Battler sees what he needs to see and runs away. He can't open it up now, right? He needs the key to open up that shit, unless he wants to squeeze through the fucking window, which he can't. He's too big. So he can't get any closer than what he's gotten. So he can't confirm their deaths. So that explains away this entire scene right here. You gotta call it into question at that point. Until we hear some red, like they're actually dead, and like somebody says that in red, right? We don't know that's actually a kill. And even if it is a kill, I mean, like I said, easily anybody that's still left alive that maybe faked their death to that magical part, anybody could have been, oh yeah, come give me the key, throw it through the window, right? And then I'll unlock it and come get you out. And then the person who unlocks it just kills him and sets up this hanging, farce. So I mean, it doesn't mean anything really. They're gonna say, there's nobody left alive on the island but Maria and Battler, so who killed them? Well, we already know there's a lot of people left alive on the island, if you don't believe in all those magical scenes earlier. So. Because of the way the loops around the legs seem to carry the full weight of the device, I can sense no trace of life from them. So they might be dead. They might be dead. The shutter's still closed. There's only one single key, which I'm sure Goda-san took possession of. How did the culprit open the shutter and kill the two of them inside? And also, there's another possibility. It could have been Goda, who's actually the one that killed them both. He set up his own kill, and he set up Kumasawa's kill after killing her. Or vice versa, Kumasawa killed them both, right? And then killed herself. So any one of them could have been the culprit. Oh wait, they weren't necessarily killed. Yep, there you go. He's thinking about that possibility. This is a suicide. That way this doctrine makes sense, but I don't know why the two of them would hang themselves. Feebly, I slumped down on the spot. Now the only humans alive and silent are me, Maria, and my old bastard's old bastard. No, he's not alive. No, there's also that nutso woman calling herself Beatrice. Yeah, that's 3. So there's at least 3 people. Beatrice, Maria, and Babbler. That are at least left alive. At most, nobody died on the island. Except for Kinzo. And they're all still alive. They've all pretended to be dead. Because, again, Babbler's not seen anybody die yet. Still hasn't seen anybody die yet. Maria's been acting like she's on the witch's side from the beginning. Gramps is the very person who revived the witch. Plus, there's the witch herself. What the hell, then? It's just as though I'm the only one on this island. Using my pole as a cane, I feebly rose to my feet. Damn, I can't do it like this. I gotta avenge everyone. Got the crying out of the way while I could, so that all my weak emotions could be squeezed out of my tears. Then I straightened up and gazed through the darkness in the direction of the mansion. At the entrance of the mansion, the witch is waiting. I'll go and settle this. I'll find the source of this weird blood-soaked night and crush her with my own hands. Crush her. Alright. So, again, there is a person dressing up as Beatrice, so we might actually see this person in the Beatrice costume with the schoolgirl outfit. Again, that doesn't mean that's a real witch. It just means there's one of these people that pretended to die is now dressing up as Beatrice. So, keep that in mind, guys. This morning when I walked through the rose garden without an umbrella, a la Ella, letting myself get soaked. I can see the arbor in the distance. According to Jessica, it seemed that George Aniki had also been killed. Well, by this point, there's no need to worry about the lives of any hostages. I left the path, aiming for the arbor. Always going to see George's body then. There you go. Then I saw George Aniki's weather-beaten corpse. So that's the first true corpse we've seen on Battler's point of view. So I think that's been updated here. Let's go and see. Yep. Now you see how this works, guys? We didn't get the chance to confirm Kumasawa and Goda's death. The only person we can actually confirm who is actually dead so far is only George. So let's go ahead and see what George is looking like here. His corpse was discovered by the Rose Garden Arbor. There was a single hole right in the center of his forehead. It seems reasonable to think that he was shot with a gun or something. He was a band of humiliation marking his loss of gap. So I hope you guys see how this works. The way that this story is being told, nobody can confirm anybody's deaths other than Battler himself. And again, Battler couldn't confirm Kumasawa, he couldn't confirm Goda, because he couldn't get in the room, basically. It was locked. So, are they dead? Don't know. They're still showing that they're alive. It's like, all these people could still be alive. Except for this guy. He's not. But everybody else should be alive still. Could be. We never saw them die. So I hope you guys are getting this. Aniki. Oh, George is definitely dead though, right? Good riddance. I mean, he's pretty baller in this episode, right? Before he died, but yeah, George is definitely dead. Corpse was on the arbor. If he could have died under the arbor, it would have at least been spared being beaten down by the rain. There was a gaping hole in Aniki's forehead, as though he had been shot by a gun. Perhaps because the rain had washed everything away, his face wasn't covered with blood, and so he looked almost like he was sleeping. Covered the deep red, his clothes were stained still provided the evidence that a large amount of blood had flowed out. How happy I'd be if he were still sleeping, or else pretending to be dead. Aniki's eyes remained open even though the rain sprayed against them. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Can't fake that. And the hole in his forehead was, without a hint of a joke, the real thing. There had been a faint chance that Goda-san and Kumasawa-san hanging by their necks in the gardening shed could have been a bad joke. Pretty much, yeah. He didn't confirm it, like I said. It could be faking her death. That naive possibility had now been completely denied. So now he's using this death as a kind of an excuse to think that they are dead, which he shouldn't be doing. Because they might be in cahoots with Beatrice. We already know George is not. George is dead, so. As I looked at his corpse, I became completely sure. This is Goda-san I once said. Enemy came to take lives as though these lives were pieces on the chessboard.
クソじじいと魔女は俺たちの命なんだ。本当にその程度にしか思え。
That damn witch! When she was on the phone, she talked about us like we were on the game board.
仕事を出せ。そうかよ。こいつはゲームのつもりかよ。
Indeed she does.
あら。お前らがみんなをゲームみたいに殺したように、俺がお前らをゲームのように殺してもいいわけだよな。
If you can.
首を洗ってやがれ。ベアトリーチェ。
That man George knew how to fucking fight. Knew karate, capoeira, taekwondo, and he still got a bullet through the fucking skull. So I don't know what you can do about that shit, dude. Good luck with that, though. You don't got a gun? You don't got a fucking rifle? Come on, dude. You're going into a witch fight with a fucking spear that you don't know how to wield? Man, that's a good game, dude. That's GG's. Lightning caused the mansion vast shadow to emerge. Finally, the mansion. As the massive shape came into view, there was no silhouette of any person. It seemed that there weren't any underlings waiting for me in the pack or anything like that. According to Kyrie-san, there was a large number of attendants with goat heads. Goat boys. At least for now, I couldn't sense any large group like that hiding and staring at me. What's this? Beneath the roof of the entrance, there's something set down. What the hell is this? The hell? It's a box. It's oh shit, don't open that box. It looked like the kind of small box that girls often keep trinkets in. Or maybe it was the same kind of extravagant cigar case you'd find in a reception room. Or maybe it's the box from 7 that you don't want to open up. might have Jessica's head in it. You don't want to open that shit up. Either way, it didn't look like something that belonged here. It clearly looked as though I was being told to open it. But the thought of doing what they wanted me to do was somehow irritating. However, it didn't look like we get anywhere if I didn't open it up, so. Could it be that it's been set up with some trap to make it explode? I wouldn't worry about that shit. I'm thinking things like that and forgetting even to go under the overhang. I continued to glare at the box as the rain beat down upon me. He's going through it right now, isn't he? You saw that dead body. Then mixed in with the under with some kind of music? Sounded like something like that. Oh, so now we're at midnight. Hold on. Let me confirm that. 23:47. So that should be saying 24. It was also the sound that announced that the crazy day of October the 4th had finally ended. And that the much more incredibly crazy day of October the 5th had begun. Yeah, so, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep going. Just going to keep going. October the 5th now. We're officially at October the 5th. Aren't we? Okay, it doesn't say it here, but it is the 5th. Sound quieted. Quiet-tinned. Is that a word? I can hear an eerie laugh coming out of nowhere. I had the feeling that the voice was coming from the heavens, and I looked up at the sky. Up to the sky! Hey, there was Beatrice. There was a woman I had never seen before. No, it's not true. I had never seen her before. Saw her once a day, and that's in the portrait inside the mansion. The clothes were different, but the face was just like the witch of the portrait. Ah, who am I kidding? I already know who this person is. Yato! Alright, I think I already mentioned this before, but once midnight happens, everybody's dead on the island. So, it's very convenient, I'll say, that Badler doesn't see Beatrice, doesn't talk to her face to face ever in this entire game. He only talks to her briefly on the phone, which, you know, like I said, it could be anybody at that point over the phone. He didn't see her. But now we have to wait till after midnight before Battler sees, in the flesh, Beatrice. So it still could be the person dressed up as Beatrice, but we don't know who it is yet. And they got some, hella good, makeup skills and whatever to be changing from one of the people we've seen die in these magical farces to be dressing up as Beatrice now here, without any blood on her, without any fucking fake blood on her, looking like the actual Beatrice portrait. There's a reason why he had to see her after midnight though, because again, like I said before, I believe in one of my VODs, anything that you're shown after midnight does not happen, because these people are already dead by midnight. Everybody dies at midnight on October the 5th. Somehow, some way, there is some kind of mechanism that kills everybody that's alive on the island, unless you're hidden in Kuwadori and you're safe, like Eva was in episode 3. Otherwise, you're dead. So Battler's dead at this point. So they can show him anything they want, and they can't really prove that he didn't see this because he's already dead. So he's being shown ghost images because he's a ghost right now. Or, we can say that this is actually the person dressed up as Beatrice. We can't disprove that. She's standing in the middle of the rain. You can't really, you're not close up to her. You can't really tell what's going on here. So there's a couple different possibilities to explain away why he's suddenly seeing a witch right now, right? It's not really a witch. It's not really something he's seeing. This is no longer reality, because it's after midnight. It's the 5th. On the 5th, you can't believe anything you see. It doesn't say 5th, but it should say Sunday, October the 5th. Leaning over the second floor balcony, waving cheerily from under her umbrella, was without a doubt the witch of the portrait, Beatrice. Was the plan for the boss to watch on from above as her goat underlings torture me to death. I adjusted my grip on the spear, and imagining goats creeping out the surrounding shadows of the entrance and surrounding me, I raised my guard in all directions.
安心しろよ。ここにはわらわとお前以外の誰もいねえぜ。ヤギの家具どももいなければ、悪魔の執事もお師匠様も、我が親友の悪魔もいない。そして、我が肉体の蘇生を手伝う黄金の長たちもいなければ、魔法陣もない。召喚者の立ち会いもない。その意味、
さっぱりだぜ。寝言言ってろ。
そなたとは確かにこの世界でも何度か会えてはきた。まるですれ違うかのように。知っての通り、この人間どもの世界はただ貴様らが存在し、わらわを疑うだけだ。まるでそなたというキングに対して守りを固める堅牢な城壁のようよ。それをわらわは駒を一つずつ進み、切り崩し追い込み、じわじわとそなたの城壁を切り崩していく。そしてようやくわずかの隙間を開き、そこからわらわはビショップを送り込む。しかし知ってるの、ビショップは視覚のある子。
Bishops are blind. They can only go on one color. So you get into the opposite color next to a bishop, you're never going to get attacking. So this, for instance, that bishop right there can only go in the white spaces. So this pawn over here, on this black space, these two pawns will never get taken because this guy can never take them, right? You keep yourself on this white space, on the black spaces, sorry, you're good. Once you go in this white space, you're in range at that point. So that's the blind spot. Blind spot, I can't see the black spaces basically. Hey, they're gonna say it. Okay, hey, I know how to play chess, guys. I told you.
そなたがひょいと白きマスに一歩逃れれば、わらわはそなたの隣に接することはできても接触することはかなわぬ。だからわらわはそなたが白きマスにとどまれぬようさまざまな駒を送り、そなたの隣の黒きマスを支配するわらわの前に弾き出されるように。しかし今やそなたの城壁はぽっかりと穴。
That's only if you stop thinking, basically.
我がビショップではなくとうとうクイーン ことができた。クイーンがどういう駒か。
飛車プラス角だろ。言いてえことはこうか。今やお前は黒い魔女幻想のマスだけでなく白い人間世界のマスにまで自由に侵食できるようになったと。
その通り。そなたはわらわの眷属である黄金の蝶たちが存在するマスのことを魔女幻想と観測者なき非現実と仮定して否定してきたのだろう。知っておるぞ。だからこそわらわはこうしてとうとう白きマスへ降臨した。安心しろよ。黄金の蝶もヤギたちも悪魔も魔女も後でいっぱい呼んでやるぜ。
Okay.
そなたが望むならわらわの黄金鏡へ招待してそこで何でも願いを叶えてやろうぜ。
どうやらこの島のチェス盤はインク壺でもぶっかけちまったみたいだな。
なるほど、それも愉快な表現よ。すぐにそなたもそのインクに染まるぞ。やがては真っ黒に染まり必ず黒き金に。そなたは今インクの海に溺れる哀れな存在であるの。
いや違う。島がてめえのインク壺で全て真っ黒に染まっちまったことは認めるが白いマスは
どこ？
俺の足の裏にだぞ。
Oh,
お
snap.
前の魔法のインクが島中を覆い尽くそう。俺が踏みしめ
So
る
he figured out what I
足の
figured
裏
out.
まで覆えない。
As long as he can, as long as he still has his faculties about him, he can still confirm or deny witches. So, if he didn't see shit, he only saw one body so far. He saw George's body, and that's the white space that he knows is true. So, he can confirm George is dead. He can't confirm anybody else is dead, or anybody else is telling the truth from what they told him this entire game. So she might be lying her teeth off about being a magical witch. This might be somebody dressing up as Beatrice right now. And it probably is, most likely.
いけん。この島が真っ黒に染まろうと俺は俺だ。白いマスをこうして踏みしめて立っている。
Well said. Strange. Until a second ago I was trembling all over. But now that she's appeared openly right before my eyes like this, my terror is actually lessened. It's funny. Ghosts are most terrifying when you can only sense them. When you can see them and they have a face you can plant your fists into, there's nothing scary about it. However, she is definitely not a funny or friendly person. She can kill me instantly while rolling around giggling just by snapping her finger. Can she? I want to see her do it. When we interpreted the result of her snapping her fingers as magic flying at me, or underlings showing up to shoot me, it doesn't matter. In any case, whether this is fantasy or mystery, that queen is in a position where she can kill me just by snapping her fingers. I see, so this is the meaning of the queen of the island, who reigns over both the white and black squares?
さあ、この雨の中、そなたが風邪をひくまで待つ。そこに箱があるのはそなたへのテスト。
待ちな。俺はもう今さら次期当主が誰かなんて俺のゲームはクソジジイとお前とみんなを殺した奴ら全員にそれぞれ顔面パンチをぶち込むことだ。
ほう、わらわのこのバルコニーまで空を飛び上がってくるという。それはよい、それはよい。ならばほら、早く来いよ。ほらほら、パンパン。
絶対安全な場所に嫌がるって余裕ぶっこきやがって。今からそこに行くぞ。
ダメだ。鍵がかかっている。もちろん窓にすべて鎧戸を下ろして。
Come on now, dog.
そなたが短期で切り込める頃、わらわの城は脆くはない。
Tried the front door anyway just in case, but yup, it was really locked. I looked around, I noticed that indeed the shutters were closed on the windows. Normally they wouldn't be.
用意周到なやつだぜ。鍵はどこだ？
Oda-san and Kumasawa-san probably had the master keys, but they're in the locked room at the guardian's storehouse. I can only give up for now.
くそ、やつもバカじゃねえってか。
そんなにわらわのすぐ隣に来たいのか。いいぞ。そなたがテストに見事合格できたら謁見を許そうではないか。合格ということはそなたこそが次期当主。わらわの肉体も魂もどう扱おうとそなたの自由よ。わらわは所詮は後ろ宮家の家具なのだから。
Why would she call herself that, by the way? It's a big clue.
どうやらテストってやつをどうしてもやらせたいらしいな。いいぜ、受けて立ってやら。合格したら最初のご褒美はてめえに顔
He
面
always
パンチ
punches
だ。
people in the face, doesn't she?
それは怖い怖い。
That's like all he wants to do.
だが暴力に支配されるのも嫌いではないぞ。わらわの頭をこうわしづかみにして
That's what he said.
普通に表情を歪めさせ、たかがその爪で獲物を引き裂きかきむしるようにわらわを蹂躙してくれよ。ああ、若き日の金蔵をもう一度思い出させておくれ。わらわにこの1000年の生涯でただ支配され屈服し家具に落ちる喜びを教えてくれたあの日のことを思い出させてくれよ。
She's a little freaky, ain't she?
酔っ払いね。拉致が開かね
Ignoring the stupidly smiling witch, I picked up the
そう
box.
だ、それを
It's
開
in
く。
the box, man.
中に手紙がある。それを読むのだ。
I opened it, there was a faint smell of cigarettes. Apparently it really had originally been a cigar case. There were no cigarettes or cigars inside. What she had to say here? Instead, there was a western envelope with a one-winged eagle crest. And when I opened that too, there was a letter inside. I looked up at the witch. She was grinning down at me. It seemed that she was waiting in anticipation to see what kind of reaction I'd have to the contents. Damn it, I'll show her. Its contents were like this. Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. 1 your life. 2 Blank's life. 3 everyone else's life. If you do not choose one, all of the above will be lost.
え。なんだこりゃ。
Why is his blank, right? The hell is
随
this?
分と物騒なことが書かれてるぞ。それより2番目が空欄になってて誰の命か分かりゃしね
その2番にそのものの最も愛する者の名が入る。ジェシカのテストにはカノン、ジョージのテストにはシャノンの名が入った。彼らについては思い人がはっきりしていたからあらかじめ名前を記入してやれもしたが、そなたの思い人をわらわは知らん。だから誰の名を書けばいいやら分からず
え。そいつはちょうどいいや。愛してるぜベアトリーチェ。
Good answer. Good answer.
お前の名前をここに突っ込んでやる。だから俺が選ぶ選択肢は2番だ。これでいいか？
There you go, dude.
おいおい、茶化すな茶化すな。なあ、頼むよバトラー。
That's a great line.
お前の思い人の名を
You just told you, it's you,
教えて
baby.
くれよ。
Come on now, baby.
じゃないとテストにならぬではないか。
So it's pretty interesting that we'll notice that Beatrice seems to be very interested in who Badler likes. Why would she do that? Why would she be asking him that?
悪いな。
It still says October 4th for some reason. I don't know why.
俺に特定の女はいね
Maybe
え。
that's a glitch in the Umineko project version. Should be October the 5th by now.
仮に至って誰がお前なんぞに話すもんか。
そういうことではこのテストはそなたに成立せん。残念残念。そなたの思い人がどのような女か。
俺が黒髪長髪のまな板少女がいいって言ったらどうするよ。お前とは一つも一致しねえぜ。
Damn.
嘘をつけこのおっぱいソムリエが。
That's a big clue. That's a big clue.
金髪のダイナマイトバディがいいんだろ。わらわがまさに理想の体現ではないか。
That's also a big clue. I'm just gonna highlight the big clues and not gonna really explain why they're big clues. But if you've played this game before, you know why I'm doing that, right? That's a big clue.
お前の3サイズを当てるのが次期投手のテストだってんなら喜んで挑戦してやるぜ。
そうそう次期投手のテストであったな。そなたと喋るのが楽しくてついついさっきから脱線してしまうわ。それでは次期投手のテストを始める。そなたに後宮家次期投手としての資格があるかどうかを問う。心して答えるがよい。
Rachel had been joking around like she was drunk until a second ago and suddenly regained her gravitas. Well, I'll drink to that. It looked as though she had truly stepped out of that imposing portrait.
我こそは後宮家顧問錬金術師、黄金の魔女にして無限の魔女ベア。後宮家の家督と我が黄金のすべてを継承する資格があるかどうか、それをわらわが問う。そなたの名を名乗るがよい。
Your name?
後宮
Okay.
バトラだ。
Under that majestic gaze, unimaginable from her manner a short while ago, I answered without any hesitation. She truly was, yes indeed. In the truest sense, she was worthy of calling herself the queen of this island.
よろしい後宮バトラよ。しかしそなたはその後宮の名をこの6年捨てたである。
That's another clue. I'm just gonna highlight the clues as I see them.
それはなぜか。
Clues as to the Beatrice person's true identity and her motive for these kills on Rokunjima Island in these 2 days in October. That's a big clue.
クソ親父に愛想が尽きたからさ。
If you didn't know that by now, because he's always the last person left alive, so obviously that's a big clue. And the second he comes back after those 6 years of throwing away the Ushiromiya name, and that's when she decides to do this kill, right? Remember the other clues I pointed out? Right before Shannon and George get engaged at least. That's when she decides to do this fucking Rokunjima kill too, right? Why does that have to happen? Why does that timing happen like that, right? What's going on there, right? Clues. Stuff you should be thinking about here, guys.
知っている。父親の再婚がそなたの敬愛する母親の死を冒涜したように感じたからである。なるほど。新しき母はそなたと何の血のつながりもない。
Biting my tongue here.
そなたがその
I just want
母
to
を
ruin
受け入れら
everything,
れる気
basically. I
持
just
ち
want
は
to spoil everything,
わから
but
ぬ
I'm
で
not
も
going to. We'll spoil things when we get to the answer arcs. We're still in the question arcs here. I'm not supposed to tell you guys the answers yet. So I will keep highlighting shit though, clues and shit.
しかし
Oops.
父親が誰と再婚しようともそなたとの血のつながりは変わらぬのではないか。
何が言いたい？
父親の再婚に反対するという父親を独占したいがゆえのそなたの幼稚も多少の理解はしよう。しかしそれに反抗するために後宮の名を捨てる家と血に対する冒涜ではないのか。そなたは後宮に生まれ育まれてきたのではないか。
That's a big clue. That's a huge clue. What'd you say before that? Hold up. I was thrown away the Usumi name as a means of resistance, not a disgrace to your family. That's a huge clue too. I really can't tell you why though, but it's a huge clue.
その恩を忘れ 後ろ宮の名を捨てる資格もそなたにあったという。
That's also a huge clue. They're all
お前
clues,
には関
guys.
係ない。
Everything she's saying is a clue.
俺と親父の問題だ。
後宮の名はお前と父親だけのものではない。お前は知らぬ女に父親を奪われることを許せず反抗しただけの幼稚だ。後宮家の席を捨て去ったこの6年間、そなたが後宮家に泥を塗りし短からぬ年月、その罪深きを知るがいい。
幼稚で悪かったな。
しかし祖父母の死を境とはいえ、よくぞ後宮に席を逃した。よってその罪を自ら見そぐ機会をそなたに与えよう。今こそそなたに6年前の罪をあがなう時。さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。自らの罪を、それを思い出し告白し、それこそわらわがそなたに与えるテストである。
That was the biggest clue, by the way. At that moment, a massive thunderclap rang out, making my mind go blank.
懺悔せよって。なんだよ。謝れって言いたいのかよ。
もうテストは始まっているぞ。そなたの好きに考えるがよい。
There were no signs from the witch's expression that she was sneering at a person unable to answer the tough question thrust upon them. She was earnestly asking something of him, and he could even feel a quiet determination. Even as the rain beat upon him, Balor could not shift his eyes from her gaze. The witch threw her umbrella away. She abandoned herself to the falling rain, so that the rain would fall on her until Balor answered that question. She had chosen to join him, allowing the rain to beat down on her as well, until he reached an answer. For some reason, Balor could tell that. But even so, he didn't understand.
いや、まあ、それを言われりゃ、幼稚だったとは思うぜ。何のかんの言ったって、親父に育ててもらった恩は、親父が再婚したからってチャラになるもんじゃねえ。親父は、養育費は常に送り続けてくれたそうだし、学校の行事にも参加したいと言っててくれたそうだ。それを俺が、絶対に来させるなとじいちゃんたちに言ってたから。来させ確かにそりゃ俺の幼稚な反抗だったとバッサリ言われりゃそれまでだぜ。いやでもよ、ならよ、おふくろの後宮アスモの無念は誰が晴らすんだ。おふくろはあんなにも献身的に俺たち家族に尽くし頑張ってくれたんだぜ。なのに親父はキレイさんと浮気もしていた。園児を身ごもらせてさえいた。それで出産に合わせて駆け込むかのように籍を入れたんだ。それがおふくろへの裏切りでなくて何なんだよ。おふくろの無念は誰が晴らすんだよ。だがお前の言う通りでもあるさ。浮気は事実でも俺を育ててくれた恩は確かにあった。ならそれを相殺して俺が家を出ていくというので十分問題ねえじゃねえかよ。そうさ、俺にはおふくろの代わりに親父をぶん殴る権利が、いや義務があったはずなんだぜ。それを俺は許した。何も言わずに出て行って初めから俺なんていなかったことにしてやった。
Brother, we're getting to the meat and potatoes of what this game's about here. And it took 4 episodes, right? This is stuff that you should have learned in episode 1, but oh well. Wouldn't have been the game after that. We get the real nitty gritty here. Why Battle left all those 6 years ago.
親父も俺のことなんか忘れてキレイさんやエンジェと新しい家族を始めた。それで丸く収まってるじゃねえか。
6 years passed after that. Time healed the anger. Carrie A understood my anger as well. She tried hard to interact with me despite that and soften my heart. Angie didn't know about the situation. She adored me, believing that I was a real big brother who just lived in a separate house. And he was, you know. For Dad, he was acting like nothing had happened and told me I could come home anytime I wanted.
だんだんバカらしくなってきたんだよ。そろそろ俺も頭を冷やしてもいいかなって思ったんだ。だから俺は親父が謝ったら全部水に流すと言ってやったんだ。じいちゃんの葬式の日に。
Not Kinzo, the other grandpa. Asumu's father.
そしたらあいつ本当に畳に両手をついて詫びやがったよ。信じらんねえくらいに情けない格好だった。あの格好つけた親父が本気で頭を下げやがったんだぜ。それを見たらなんだかもうバカらしくなっちまった。きっとおふくろもそう思っただろうぜ。おふくろは俺と親父が喧嘩をするといつも笑いながら仲裁してくれて、なんだそんなくだらないことで喧嘩をしていたのと笑ってくれた。俺はおふくろがそう言って笑っているのを感じたんだよ。だから許すとまでは言えなかったけど、もう一度ゼロから始めてもいいかなって思ったんだよ。それで6年前に全てを巻き戻すことにした。それで後ろ宮家に席を戻したんだよ。俺も6年間泣き怒り悩み抜いた。ひょっとするとそれは親父もそうだったろうし、あるいは桐江さんやエンジェもそうだったかもしれない。だからゼロに戻し後ろ宮バトラに戻ったんだ。それは俺たち家族の問題であって、後ろ宮家とかそんなのは何も関係ねえ。
Well said.
それを罪だと断じる資格はお前にないし、それをお前に懺悔する義務も俺にはない。もしそれを本当にすべき相手がいたとしたら、それはお前がもう全員殺した。だから俺は何も謝らない、懺悔しない。それが俺のこのテストへの答えだ。
I'll just say this much, that wasn't what she was talking about.
それだけか。
That wasn't the sin she was talking about.
何？
I pretty much fully responded to her provocation. I was sure that I'd vented out all the stuff I'd been keeping inside my chest, stuff I hadn't wanted to show anyone. That was what the witch was supposedly hoping for, too. Yet, the witch's blank expression didn't change in the slightest. I had been sure she'd start cackling and guffawing, staring at my childish, foolish, and shameful past. To the contrary, I could feel a sense of shock about her. Something you could almost call disappointment. And I don't want to spoil. I'll say that first, but just imagine, guys. Imagine this is a totally different scenario than what's happening right now, by the way. So imagine you had a friend back in the day, right? You had a best friend, we'll say, back in the day, and this best friend and you got into a fight one day, and the best friend that you guys said you two would always be together forever, right? You made a promise that you guys would never drift apart no matter what happens, right? So like the next day after that promise, right? You got into a fight. Maybe you said something about your friend's mother or something and took it too far, just trying to get him to get angry at you, and it came to blows. And the next day, like you guys didn't talk, right? And the day after that, you didn't talk, right? And then the next week you didn't talk, right? Next month you didn't talk, right? And so months become years, you don't talk, right? So fast forward 6 years, right? Just fast forward 6 years. And you see this guy on the street, just randomly. You're like, oh man, what's up? And this guy, pretends that nothing ever happened and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, and then he asks you like, hey man, whatever happened to us, man? Why do we why did we ever get into that fight? And then you say, well, remember I was talking, mad shit about your mother, right? And then your former friend's like, oh shit, you should apologize to that, right? You should apologize for that. And you refuse to apologize for it. You're like, well, I was just pretty mad. I was a kid. I'm not going to apologize for that shit. It's not my fault, right? How would you feel if you were that friend? That this guy doesn't. The guy in situations me didn't apologize to, like, saying all that bullshit about the friend's mother. How would you feel at that point? So imagine that's how Beatrice feels right now. Like, this guy is opening himself up, saying all this shit, all this emotional, like, release, right? But the one thing she wants him to apologize for, he just totally either forgets it, or he doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, or doesn't care enough to apologize for it. So how would that make you feel? That's pretty much how she's feeling right now. And that's all I'm going to say, though. We don't know what Beatrice is wanting Balor to say. We just know that Balor didn't say it, right? He didn't apologize for whatever she wants him to apologize for. Disappointment's an understatement.
俺は洗いざらいをぶちまけたぜ。何が不満なんだよ。
まだ罪の清算が足りない。
清算？なんだよ。親父みたいにここに土下座して謝れってのかよ。
違う。お前たち家族のお前の家での話になど興味はない。ここはどこだ？六軒島だ。後ろ宮本家の本宅である。
So she's trying to jog his memory here. Though it's not about his immediate family. Like, the means to the ends are related, though. The fact that he left 6 years ago, that's related. It's not about his immediate family. It's not about that drama, right? It's about this.
この場所にふさわしい。そなたの思い出すべき罪が
She's trying to jog his memory here.
あるのでは。
Big clue.
他に俺に罪があるってのかよ。
思い出す。後ろ宮バトル。そしてそれを思い出せぬことがそなたの罪。だからこそ許そう。それを思い出せたなら許そう。それを思い出すことはそなたへの贖罪のテストである。
思い出せって言われてもよ。
思い出せ。だからこそ罪なのだ。
悪いがベアト、俺には身に覚えがさっぱりだ。なんだか6年前の俺がお前に迷惑をかけたみたいな雰囲気だが。
Yep. Big clue. Yep.
俺はお前とは今回の親族会議が初対面のはず。確かにお前の伝説は6年前の当時にも存在していたが、俺との面識は当時にはなかったはずだ。
6年前の六軒島においてわらわはまだ権限していない。
なら俺に何の罪があるってんだ。俺にお前に対する罪が何かあるってのか。
同じことを2度言わせるな。わらわは6年前には権限しておらぬ。そなたと面識などあろうはずもない。そなたという世界において存在しないも同じだ。
Yeah, those cold eyes said as though they were accusing me of some kind of sin. It felt on the face of it as though she was still holding a grudge for some way I treated her and was criticizing me for it. However, I obviously couldn't remember doing anything like that to her, and Beatle had said so herself. So there was no link between us 6 years ago. 6 years ago, okay, it's seen in red now. 6 years ago, no person called Beatrice existed for me.
ヒントくらい出せよ。
She's giving you several hints, by the way.
その罪とやらは俺とお前に 関係がある。
わらわは6年前にはそなたと縁がない。わらわのことはいい加減に考えから外せというの。なぜわらわへの罪だと思うの？
お前の目さ。
ほう。
お前の目がさ、わびろって俺に囁いてくるんだよ。だが俺はお前なんか6年前に縁はねえし、それはお前も認めたはずだ。
I can't say shit.
本当なのか？本当に俺とお前の問題ではないのか？
Let me just say this much. It's not a problem with Beatrice. This manifestation of Beatrice. Again, she said she didn't manifest 6 years ago. Where did she say that? I hadn't manifested yet. I was not yet manifested. Bam. She said that verbatim. She hadn't manifested yet. But there's a person dressing up as Beatrice, pretending to be her. So, ergo, the problem he had, the sin he made, was with the person dressing up as Beatrice. Right? So, if you didn't know that there's a person dressing up as her at this point, that's what the problem is with. And he can't remember who that person is. That's why Beatrice is trying to tell him it's not me, it's not Beatrice, it's the person I'm dressing, the person I am in reality, basically. It was hard to say that without spoiling things. The person that she is in reality is who the problem is with, that he can't remember. And that's the big problem that she has with him. And it's still, for some reason, October the 4th. I don't know why.
違うというのに、わらわとそなたの問題など全く関係ない。
だがよ、お前の目がそうだと言ってるんだよ。
This is what happens when you have multiple personalities. So, Beato is the newest personality. And then there's another personality that apparently he had a problem with 6 years ago.
だから俺にはさっぱりわからねえ。赤で言えるが、お前が思い出すと言っている罪が俺とお前の間のものではないと。
よかろう。
The sin I am now depending that you remember is not between Usurmi Battler and Beatrice. Remember, Beatrice is in all caps, signifying that that's the witch personality. There's another personality, remember.
なら、なぜそんな目で俺を見る？
わからぬ。わらわはそなたをこうして淡々と見つめているだけだ。
She's clearly acting differently. She's not cackling, she's not laughing, she's not, joking around with him and shit. She's angry, she's feeling some type of way, dude. She's angry.
それをそなたがそう感じるというのならば、それはそなたにそう感じる何かがあるのではないか。
俺に何の罪があるってんだ？
後ろ宮バトラには罪がある。
どんな罪だってんだ？どうせ叩いたとかごまかしたとかくだらねえ罪だろ。
そなたの罪だ。人が死ぬ。
I mean, that's an opinion, actually. That's not. You can't say that's the truth. That's an opinion. He's not the one that's killing people. It's Beatrice. Because of the sin that he does, though. But it's definitely not his fault.
嘘つけ！俺は誰も殺してなんかいない。じゃあ言えよ。俺が誰を殺した？いつ？誰を？どうやって？
そなたの罪によるこの島の人間が大勢。
That's close to the truth. Like, his sin is what led to this massacre to happen. It wasn't his fault, though. It's definitely Beatrice who's doing that shit.
誰も逃さず全て死ぬ。
何をわけわかんねえこと言ってんだ。俺がみんなを殺したって言うのかよ。俺は殺人鬼か？
そなたが直接手を下すわけではない。しかしそなたが罪を犯したからこそ 6年にもわたる歯車の狂いにて歪みが生じ、今夜これだけの人命が失われるのだ。そなたはこの惨劇の原因の一つである。
One of the causes, not the entire cause. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably true.
いい加減にしろ。俺が原因だ。
One of them.
じゃあなんだ。俺が6年前に後ろ宮の席を捨てたから13人が死んだってのか。俺が6年ぶりに後ろ宮家に帰ってきたから13人が死んだってのか。
In a certain sense, yes.
ふざけるな。いい加減にしろ。俺はこの6年間最も後ろ宮家から遠ざかっていた男だぜ。その俺が何のどんな影響を与えたってんだ。俺だって好きで親族会議に来たわけじゃねえぞ。6年ぶりによりを戻したからこれまでの期間のけじめってことでしぶしぶと六軒島まで来たんじゃねえか。別に俺は今日ここへ来る義理なんてなかったんだ。その俺が帰ってきてそれが理由で惨劇が起こった。
Technically, yes.
じゃあなんだ。俺が帰ってこなければ誰も死なずに済んだってのか。
Again, technically, yes.
赤で言えよ。俺がもし帰ってこなかったらこのおかしな殺人事件は起こらなかったと赤で言えるのかよ。
I don't know if you can say that in red. I'm not sure.
言えるわけねえさ。お前が全ての犯人なんだからな。苦笑要求。後ろ宮バトラがもしも六軒島に戻ってこなかったら事件は起こらなかった。言えるものなら言ってみろ。言えねえだろ。言えやしないのさ。犯人はお前なんだ。勝手にその責任を俺になすりつけるんじゃねえ。答えろよ。苦笑してみろってんだ。できやしない。事件に俺の存在なんか関係ないのさ。わけのわかんねえことを言って俺を混乱させるんじゃね
I began to remember that the raindrops were pounding down from the cold. The rain earlier had just hurt, but now I felt a tormenting cold from those raindrops.
何も思い出すことはないの。
悪いが俺にはさっぱり心当たりがね
At this point, you've already killed people, so you might as well just tell him at this point. He has no idea. He has no clue.
え。おい
He's not going to figure it out himself, obviously.
俺は少しイラつき始めてんだぜ。言いたいことがあるなら言えよ。
Exactly. Just say it.
俺に恨みがあるなら堂々と言えばいい。思い出せなんていやらしい言い方をするんじゃね
もう一度聞く。何も罪。
え。ああ何にも思い出せねえな。
That's not what she wants to hear. That's not what she wants to hear.
何も思い出せぬというか、これにて未練は尽きたか。望みなき賭けも賭けねば未練が残ろう。
This is kind of weird, right? We got Beatrice talking to herself. Makes sense to me because I've played this game before, but it might not make too much sense to you guys. So I'm just gonna let it play out though.
それでよいのだ。賭けることに意味がある。そうかもしれぬな。ならばこれにてわらわの未練もゲームも終わりだ。そなたはどうする。さあな。わらわはもう何の興味もない。すまぬがわらわはこれにてそうか、わかった。後のゲームはわらわが引き継ぐ。そなたは休め。後のことを すべてわらわが終わらせ、そなたはすべてを忘れて枕に顔をうずめよ。羽の布団はそなたをすべてから優しく守ってくれるだろう。
I'm gonna say one thing here while we're on the subject. So there's two Beatrices here, right? This is how you want to look at this. This Beatrice is closer to the original persona because we have multiple personalities, remember? So that's closer to the original persona, like the core person basically, and this is the person that she kind of created to deal with whatever the fuck she's stressing out over right now, basically. Because she's stressed out over some shit that happened 6 years ago. And she wants Baylor to apologize. He doesn't even remember his shit. She's like, okay, well fuck. Let me go retreat back into this persona now. Literally she's saying that. So I mean, this much you should probably get by yourself. So it's not really a spoiler at that point. But yeah, that's more of the original persona. And this is more of the persona she kind of created out of necessity to deal with the shit that happened with Battler 6 years ago. Whatever that is, we don't know. There's clues, so you could kind of guess at what happened, but you really don't know concretely right now what happened. The witch who had questioned Battler hid herself, and the other witch who had appeared from behind remained. She was certainly identical to the same witch. So this is the witch that does the cackling, that does the grandiose posturing. The one witch that was, looking at Battler with these, the heavy eyes, looking at him accusingly, like, you need to, like, apologize for what you did 6 years ago. The one that took him, kind of, like, made him take a step back, like, oh shit, did I really do something here? That's the witch that just, like, kind of disappeared. She retreated into her own grandiose persona here. Because she needs to, because she can't still heal from whatever Battler did. She can't even bring herself to say what he did. When he directly asks, oh, what did I do? I don't remember, so just tell me what I did so we can talk about it. And she doesn't want to tell him because she's been, I guess, that traumatized over whatever he did. So it's got to be something bad, right? In her eyes, it's got to be something bad. You remember, like, what magic is, though, right? Magic is that determination, that belief that makes everything in your imagination real. So that's a big spoiler if I explain why that's important to Beatrice, why the magic, why the, if there is love you can see it, why that's a thing to her, because that's pretty much the core of why she does what she does here. But just think about what that could mean, because I want to spoil it right now. But her expression was somehow indifferent and ice cold. So yeah, she retreated back into the next persona, the fake cackling witch persona. Far cry from the one before, who, though apparently drunk, had at least been in high spirits.
おい、聞いてるのか？テストとやらはもう十分だろ。合格だろうと不合格だろうと、どうでもいいぜ。お前の横っ面をぶん殴ってやらなきゃ気が済まねえ。降りてきやがれ。さもなきゃ。ここの扉を開けやがれ!
Witch said nothing back. Her eyes were as ice cold as Battler's shoulders. She was clearly a different person from the one who had first appeared on the balcony. Witch looked hard into my eyes and gave 2 small shakes of her head. Even without words, I was able to gather that she was expressing some kind of disappointment. Without saying anything, the witch turned on her heels. After that, only Battler remained, the cold rain still beating down on him. You failed, Battler, you failed. So are we after midnight now? Let me see here. It's still saying October the 4th, I don't know why. Study was in the middle of a lively party. It seemed like Gap was making fun of Virgilia, teasing her over some stupid triviality. They were spitting Lia, Gappa, 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 Gappa each other. Kinzo and Ove had opened a new bottle and were enjoying the show.
Oh, 戻ったか。どうであったか。バトラーのテストの結果は。 マリアのテストは文句なしに合格点であったぞ。あやつを小娘小娘とわしは長いこと侮っていたが、これはどうしていやはやなかなか。
He's wasted, right? This guy, he's fucking had. He needs to be cut off. This guy, cut him off. Drunk motherfucker. Seemed like Kinzo was dead drunk. He laughed towards Beata with the same level of excitation. Is that a word? I don't think so. As the time they left for the test. Exultation is a word. Excitation? I don't think so. Didn't seem very, didn't seem easy to speak on the tongue. However, Onove and Virgilia instantly noticed a change in her enthusiasm. Gap also froze her expression and went silent. So Gap's not in all caps because she's not a witch. Virgilia is a witch. Gap's a demon. Difference.
どうしたベアトリーチェよ、我が最愛の魔女よ。
He's laughing in her face with his drunk breath. He's gonna get gapped, probably.
酒が足りぬか、魚が足りぬか。土砂降りを浴びながら牛でも丸焼きにしようか。おお、悪くない。
I think you wanna get out of her face right now, dog.
ロノウェ、早速準備をせよ。ベアトリーチェよ、バトラのテスト結果は後だ。まずはスペアリブで乾杯といこうではないか。
お前が丸焼きになるがよい。
Oops.
何？
As Kinzo doubled over laughing in a great mood, the witch who had spoken bluntly passed him coldly by. Then, behind the witch's back, the old summoner's body suddenly went up in flames. I tried to warn you, dog. You had too much to drink. Should have been quiet, dog. While spitting crimson flames from his eyes, mouth, nose, every hole in his body, Kinzo rolled around. Even though it was a terrible hellfire, it didn't burn anything except Kinzo. Stop, drop, and roll, buddy. Kinzo didn't have a clue what was going on. He rolled around, unable to understand, while Beatrice, who had been in such a great mood, had suddenly turned so cold. Duh, it was Paddler's test, duh. They'll dance in silhouettes of witches and demons created by that massive rolling torch. It looked like a group of excited spectators around the burning at the stake. However, the eyes of the demons watching over it were indifferent. That's kind of ironic, right? The witch burns the mortal at the stake, and not the other way around, right? That's funny. Ha ha ha. He's laughing now, babe. Kinzo finally stopped moving. The fire disappeared, leaving a pitch black corpse. Inside the room was commanded by the stillness of the sound of the rain.
どうなさいましたか？
今日サム、その邪魔な燃えかすを片付けよ。
Beatrice's expression was unbelievably apathetic. There was an iciness there that told the others that they risked the same fate as Kinzo if they annoyed her.
私が片付けるわ。
Gap made a jet black pitfall swallow up Kinzo's cinders. If she hadn't carried that out quickly, Gap might have also been burned. You could feel that thirst for blood. No, a thirst for blood probably isn't the best way to describe it. It's like humans don't have any particular emotion when they step on an ant while walking. That was how much unconsciously and mercilessly Beata was now filled with little emptiness that wouldn't hesitate to bury a passerby.
どうしたのです、ベッド。答えたくない。いや、答えるのももはやめんどくさい。
どうしたのよ、らしくもなく。何かあったの？バトラが何か言っ
Beatrice hadn't even responded. It seemed that she had even ignored it. There was a changing gap. From her feet, a cracking sound rose. A cracking sound rose, like thin ice breaking. and in an instant turned Gap into a glass sculpture. Oh shit.
しばらく消える。大変に不機嫌。
Beatrice spoke in a truly cold voice, which froze the heart just to hear it.
かしこまりました。それでは
Man,
私
get
ど
the
も
fuck up out of here, boy.
何かございましたら
Sleep.
いつ
Smart. After a single bow, Rono returned to a cloud of butterflies. Hit himself. Bye bye. Bye bye. Virgilia turned Garp from a sculpture into a group of gold butterflies, and then turned into a cloud of them herself, which mixed in with the others and disappeared. So we can tell Beatrice is a little angry, a little pissed off by what happened with Battler just now. The study made untidy by drinking. Beatrice stood alone, still alone. Since the time she had returned, her expression hadn't changed in the slightest. However, when she saw the fallen empty wine bottles and scattered cheese plates, ooh, her brow furrowed and she looked a bit displeased. And then she whispered, "Disappear," and that instant the room flashed and was tidy again, as though nothing had ever happened. The reception chairs were neatly arranged, and there was no wine or cheese. There were no stains where things had been spilled, nor were there any scattered trash. To the contrary, even the air had frozen over, and enough to make one doubt whether so many noisy people really had been in this room until just moments ago. The study had returned to total silence. In that silent, frigid study where even the air had frozen, Beatrice stood still. Then she called him in a mutter.
バトラー、いるか。
さっきからいるぜ。何なんだ一体お前は。さっきから変だぜ。
変に見えるか。それはすまぬな。
あれだけ上機嫌に酒を酌み交わしていたクソジジイをいきなり焼き捨て、お前の友人の悪魔女もガラスの彫像、悪魔の執事もお師匠も消えろの一言でさっさと出てけだ。お前どんだけ気まぐれでわがままなんだか。
バトラー、もうやめた。
何を。
わらわはもう。
はあ。そりゃまあお前が追っ始めたゲームだぜ。飽きてくれて助かるってもんさ。つまるところ投了ってわけだな。
投了などではない。ただ終わるだけだ。いや、終わりもしない。このままゲームが永遠に放棄されるだけだ。
そういうのを投了って言うんじゃねえのかよ。いや、飽きて放り出すって言葉がお前にはぴったりだな。
Oh shit.
その通りだ。飽きたから放り出す。あとは知らない。そのまま放置されて好きに埃でもかぶればいい。
お前どうしたんだ。なんだかさっきからやりにくいぜ。まださっきのわけのわかんねえテストのことで俺に恨みがあるならはっきり言えばいいじゃねえか。お前は赤で自分とは関係ないなんて言ってみせたが、どうせ言葉遊びだろ。
Yep,
お
sure is.
前の顔に書いてあるぜ。俺を恨んでるってな。
お前に恨みなどないと何度言えばわかるのか。わらわはそなたが罪を残したその当時に存在しておらぬ。
She keeps saying this shit, and it's obviously not true. Obviously, right? She's so pissed off that he doesn't remember. It's definitely. I mean, I don't want to say too much about definite shit. I'll let it stay. As Battle spoke with an irritated expression, her face twisted to look even more displeased. Fickle, inconsistent, moody, temperamental, selfish, and simple-minded, and cruel. Even so, she had never shown an expression as strange as this even once before now.
ま、お前がふっかけてきたゲームだ。俺も決着がつかねえのは残念だが、気が向いたらぜひまた誘ってくれよな。そん時は慎んでご辞退させてもらうけどよ。
He intentionally spoke in a teasing kind of tone, but Beato showed no reaction. Battler hung his head and clicked his tongue.
何度も何度も10月4日と5日をぐるぐる過ごしたわけだが、ようやくこれでお役御免だな。これだ。明後日には船が来る。そうさ。そして船着き場には海猫も戻ってくる。俺はようやく六天島名物のあのニャーニャーいう鳴き声を聞けるわけだ。何しろ島に来た時は天気のせいか全然いなかったからな。海猫の鳴く頃に全ては終わるってわけだ。
Always once per episode, guys, at least. Or is the one time? Actually, no, this is like the third time, I believe.
終わり終わり。おしまいおしまい。せいせいすら。
何をそなたは勘違いしておるのだ。
何をだって。
何も終わらぬとこれにて全ては放置され、ゲームは忘れられ、盤上の駒はそのままに放置され、進みも戻りも取りも取られもしない。勝ちもなく負けもなく引き分けすらもない。ただ放置されるのだ。
つまりはおしまいってことだろ。
違う。わらわの手番にて永遠にゲームが止まる。そなたの番は来ない。だから勝ちも負けも引き分けもない。かつてのわらわ、そなたにそうされるわけにはいかなかった。そなたに勝つという目的があったから。しかしそれに興味を失った。だからこれ以上手番を進める意味が。
俺に手番が来ないというのは。
I thought that Beato getting tired of the game meant I'd be released and I'd be able to escape Okunjima. But for some reason, the meaning of Beato's repeated words about the difference between abandoning the game and settling it was starting to bother me. What has he been saying, and why the bad mood? Suddenly I heard a voice from behind me. I turned around. There was someone I thought I might or might not remember from somewhere. A mysterious girl with no light in her eyes was standing there. Burke is still?
その子が言っているのはこういう意味よ。このゲームが駒をそのままに蓋を閉じられるということ。ゲームは終わらないまま永遠に留め置かれる。
あんたが元の世界へ戻ることのできる唯一の方法はベアトに勝利することだけ。つまりベアトがゲームを放棄しちゃうってことはわかる？
Suddenly, in another place, there was a girl wearing a bright pink dress. I had a feeling I'd met her somewhere too, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, you did. More importantly was the meaning of the words she said. The game being abandoned means, huh? What? So he does remember meeting them, but the time he met him was in the question mark arc, episode 2 question mark arc, when he was so defeated by Beatrice. He was like, you know, remember he was like a slave after she told him the truth of the game board, basically, which not really was the truth. Wasn't really the truth. Obviously, he doesn't remember it, and his psyche was so destroyed, basically. For he pretty much like I wouldn't say he lost completely, but because he still didn't give up. He went to fight again in episode 3, but he was close to being completely defeated. So he doesn't really register who these witches are, even though he's met them before. And they tried to help him, you know, get back on his feet. They kind of did help him get back on his feet for episode 3. So that's why he doesn't remember them, but he kind of half remembers them.
そういうことよ。勝負は敵味方が揃わなきゃ決着しない。あなたにはもう永遠に勝利してこの世界から抜け出すことができないということ。
さしずめ、あなたを閉じ込めた檻の鍵を鳩の首輪にでもくくりつけて飛ばしてしまうようなものかしら。冗談じゃないわ、ベアト。そんなつまらないゲームを見に私たちははるばるここまで来たわけじゃないのよ。 これでゲームをお開きなんて冗談じゃないわ。
ラムダに同じよ。私はバトラを勝利させ、あなたを敗北させてのたうち回らせるためにやってきたのよ。まだその目的を達していない。こんなところでゲーム放棄されて逃げ出されたんじゃたまらないわ。
キョーラを失望させるゲームの幕切れとなったことは認めよう。しかしこの茶会のホストたるわらわは何しろ気まぐれ。今日が覚めればもてなす術など知らぬ。もとよりそれがわらわの魔女たるゆえんのはず。何も問題はなかろう。
確かにあなたの競技には反しないわ。
私は認めないわよ。ふざけんじゃないわよ。あんたにどんだけ肩入れしたと思ってんのよ。ここまでお膳立てさせてこれではいおしまい。ふざけんじゃないわよ。
わらわは飽きたと。それ以上も以下もない。
そうはいかないわよ。あんたにはこのゲームを続けてもらうわ。バトラーに勝利したいんでしょ。勝って屈服させたいんでしょ。もう一息じゃないね
そこで俺に振るんじゃねえ。ただ俺にも意見はある。言わせてくれ。
何か。
こいつはお前に売られた喧嘩だ。俺はお前とはっきり白黒をつける覚悟がある。何度か屈服しかけたが途中で逃げ出して勝負をうやむやにして逃げるつもりだけはさらさらねえ。俺がここにいて戦う意志を見せている以上逃げるんじゃねえ。ベアトリーチェ。
同感だわ。バトラーを巻き込んでおいて勝ちも負けも与えずに立ち去るなんて。
Suddenly, even Greta was there. Everyone was criticizing Beato for being irresponsible.
ほう。どうやらわらわが無責任だと罵られる最大の理由はバトラが対戦相手としてとどまっているからということらしい。ならばバトラ、お前もまたわらわと同様に対戦相手を降りてくれるか。それでならわらわは批判されることもない。
俺が降りると六軒島を出られるのか。
出られるわけもなかろうが、勝手に誇りを浴びて肩にでも積もらせよ。
ふざけないで。なんて無責任な人なの。あんたはこれだけ大勢の人間を殺した。しかも魔女の力によって何度も何度も。むごたらしい殺し方でその責任を取らず逃げ出すなんて絶対に許せない。
責任。ほう。わらわはどのようにしてその責任とやらを取ればいいのか。
決着をつけるまで戦いなさい。バトラは正面の席に座り、あなたに打ち勝つまで決して諦めずに戦う。だからあなたも任されるまで戦いなさい。それが嫌ならバトラーを任せてみせなさい。許さない。全てをうやむやにしてバトラーをこの席に放り出して永遠に閉じ込めて返さないなんて許さない。
グレーテル。
To be perfectly honest, I didn't really understand from what standpoint Greta was trying to save me. But in her words, I could feel a strong determination to save me from this crazy game world no matter what. So I also responded to that.
ベアト、こっちを向け。
Look at that mean mug.
俺はここにいる。お前の正面のライバルの席だ。わかるな。俺がここに座り続ける限りお前に逃げは許だから逃げるな。戦え。
Fight on. Nipa.
お前が始めた戦いだろうが、これだけ何度も何度も上等を決めやがってしっちゃかめっちゃかにやってくれたんだ。今さら飽きたで終わらせられるかよ。俺はお前の対戦相手だ。
There you go.
俺がここにある限り逃げるなんて許さねえぞ。聞いてるのか、この無責任魔女め。なんとか言ってみろってんだ。
After I yelled at her, Beato went silent for a while. Whether my words had reached her or whether she was thinking about something completely different, I couldn't tell. But for a while, she was silent, gazing at me with an expression I could read no emotion from. When she realized that I noticed, she averted her gaze. Then she turned her back to me and said this.
バトラが対戦相手をやめてくれぬ以上、このゲームを放棄することは認められぬと。ならば東王、そもそもそこにいる男にわらわの対戦相手たる資格があるのかどうか。
資格？
当然。さっきのテストとやらのことだぜ。
何をする気？
あんたまさか。
これよりそなたにわらわの対戦相手たる資格があるかどうか。よいか、バトル。その資格が認められれば、わらわは席にとどまりゲームを続けよう。そして勝敗の決着がつくまで永遠に戦い続けることを約束しよう。
俺にはもとよりその覚悟はあるぜ。
しかしその資格がなかったなら、そなたは消えよ。対戦相手が消えればゲームもない。わらわは堂々とここを立ち去れる。今日らもよろしいか。口出しは無用。
どうぞお好きなように。
バトラ、あんたしっかり答えるのよ。
資格があるからこそ俺はここにいるんだろ。何も怯えることなんざねえぜ。
Remember you said that. Just gonna forget that really quickly. Gretel suddenly grew pale. I had thought her to be the calm, collected type, so her expression surprised me.
それではバトル、赤で復唱してもらおう。
俺に副賞要求ってか。俺のお箱を奪いやがって。しかし赤き真実ってどうやるんだ？
そうだと念じればできるわよ。簡単よ。
俺の名は後宮バトラ。おお、こりゃ面白えや。
やめて！あんたの狙いは読めてるわ。でもそれはやめて。彼は。
Gretel yelled, Beato glared at her. Then her form was wiped away in an instant. Oops.
うるさい。そなたはしばらく席を外せ。今日らもであるぞ。口出しをするならば容赦せる。
邪魔はしないの。どうぞご自由に。
ベル、まずいでしょうが。あいつ消す気よ、バトラを。
なんだとあいつ。何をたく。
それでは資格を問うぞ。面白いな。普段のゲームが攻守が逆になった。これは最後の最後でとても貴重な体験や。よいか、心してまずは聞け。まずはわらわが赤で語る。わらわは黄金の魔女ベア、そして後宮金蔵の孫後宮バトラと戦うために。
そんなことは知ってるぜ。だからなんだ。
副賞要求。後宮バトラの母後宮アスムである。
ああ、そこでなんでおふくろの名が出てくるんだよ。
無駄口はいらぬ。ただ赤で副賞せよ。
Beato urged me with the same indifferent tone. I don't have a clue what she's trying to do. I've done absolutely nothing wrong that I'd hate to be confronted with, and there's nothing that I'm hiding. There's nothing she could demand for me to repeat that would cause me any trouble. So why is something like this?
いいぜ。復唱する。後宮バトラの母は後宮アスムである。赤便利だな。戸籍商法を持ってくる面倒もね
え。無駄口はいらぬ。続けるぞ。そなたの名は後宮バトラである。
おう、俺の名は後宮バトラだ。
後宮バトラは後宮アスムから生まれた。
Notice the difference in this line. Ushormia Asumu, that Ushormia Badler was born. So you can still be somebody's mother or not be born from that person, right? So that's why he can say this in red, but let's see if he can say this in red.
後宮バトラは後宮アスムから生まれた。
Okay, he can say that.
そなたは後宮アスムから生まれ、
俺は後宮
All of a sudden, my throat closed. Suddenly salted by the shortness of breath that felt as if I had been choked. What's going on? One more time.
俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。
It's not red.
俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。なんだ、さっきまでは簡単にできてたのに急に赤がうまくできなくなったぞ。
副将を拒否するの。
拒否なんかじゃねえ。なぜかうまくいかねえんだ。俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。なんでだ、畜生、なんで赤が使えないんだ。そんなバカな。
My mom is Ushiromiya Utsuma. How can I say that fact in red? Because she's not your mom, dumb. Dumb dumb.
語れぬ赤を無理に語ろうとすると窒息するぞ。無理をしなくてよい。以上の事実。わらわはそなた青覚えている。青は相手を否定する仮説を宣言するのに用いる。それは赤での否定が義務付けられる。それがない場合勝利では参る。以上の副将要求並びに副将拒否からわらわはそなたに対戦相手の資格がないことを宣言する。なぜならベアと後宮金蔵の孫である後宮バトラと戦うためにゲームを開催したから。よって対戦相手であるそなたは後宮金蔵の孫である後宮バトラであることを赤で宣言する義務が生じる。それに対する副将これは資格の喪失を意味するものである。
That's not what he declined to say. He declined to say that he's Asumi's son. Two different statements.
赤でそれの何かを否定するのよ。
I just gave you one, right?
ああ、俺は後宮バトラだ。それを赤で負傷できている以上俺はお前の対戦相手のはずだぜ。
そなたが後宮バトラの名を持つことはしかし複数の人間が後宮バトラを名に持つことは可能である。すなわちこういうこと。そなたは後宮アスムの息子後宮バトラと同姓同名の別人である。
なんだとバカなことを言うんじゃねえ。俺はおふくろの子だぞ。後宮アスムの子だ。俺は後宮アスムから畜生、なぜだ、なぜ俺がおふくろから生まれたと言えないんだ。こんなバカなことがあるというのか。
苦しむことはない。わらわは遊ばぬ。これにてチェックメイト。そなたは後宮アスムの息子ではない。
そんなバカ。
そなたは誰。後宮バトラを殴る何者なの。
ちょっと待てよ。
Oh, this is an easy trick to get through. He's not biologically your son, and he was trying to talk to his father pretty much all 3 episodes before this one. He's always saying, "Oh, I got something to tell you, Battler, and something you might hate me for." And this is what he wanted to tell Battler, basically, that Usuma never gave birth to him. I wonder who gave birth to him, right? an obvious answer there, but the circumstances of that is kind of fucked up. But something happened between Asuma birthing a kid named Badler and the person that actually became Badler being raised by Asuma. Something happened between those two. Those aren't the same two guys. So she did birth some kid and called him Badler, but then between that kid being born and her raising up this guy, those are two different people basically. How did that switch happen? Well, Asuma doesn't know. Asuma assumes that it was still the same kid, but it wasn't. Somehow, some way, the guy that she birthed became this guy that she ended up raising up. So you don't know how or why that happened, but apparently she knows. So he's also called Badler, but there was another Badler that was born before him, basically.
俺は後ろ宮アスムから生まれた親父とおふくろの息子だ
Nope. Nope. Yeah, but nope.
いいやわらわに対戦相手たら後ろ宮バトラであるはずがないその証拠に
証拠だと
そなた6年前の罪を知らない
She's just being petty now here. Like, one and A and B have no relation to each other. She's trying to say, oh, because you have a different mother, that's why you don't know about the sin 6 years. That doesn't make any fucking difference.
いいや真の後ろ宮バトラなら罪など犯さない
Yeah.
だが
You didn't say that in red,
結果
by
的
the way.
に罪は起こる6年の月日が空白となって当時は何も知らぬ男が後ろ宮バトラを名乗って六軒島へ姿を現しその真相はこう
6 years ago, the true Ushomiya Badler qualified to be my opponent was already dead. They were involved in a plot by Rudolph having something to do with the distribution of the inheritance. Body double was set up at Ushomiya Badler's place.
そんなバカなことがそんなバカなことが
This is my problem with Badler as the main character. He stops thinking. This is what Leandro Delta was saying too. Remember, you fucking need the answer or fucking... What did she say? Hold on. Let's see the logs real quick. Not tips, hold on. She said something about like, don't forget to think, you idiot. And he's already forgotten to think, because he's starting to cry like a little baby. When obviously he hears this stupid theory that's not true. He remembers being the fucking kid of Asumu and there we go. Oh, a little bit earlier than that. Make sure you answer well. There you go. He's not answering well. He's crying. That's what he's doing. He's not answering well. He remembers being the fucking kid of Rudolph and Asumu. So what does that mean here, right? He can start saying, "Oh, I'm the son of I'm the biological son of Rudolph," and see if he can say that in red. He obviously can't say the part about Asumu in red. So if he's still a Ushomiya, he could be able to say that part about Rudolph, at least. But he's not thinking about that. He's crying. He's too busy crying over here.
バトラしっかりしなさい
あ、言い返せないなら仕方がないわバトルにその資格はなかったそういうこと
ベルそれでいいのそれを認めちゃったらあんたも負けちゃうのよ
あんたが勝っちゃうんでしょうなんでバトルの肩を持ってるの
She's on to her. She knows what she's trying to plan on doing.
残念バトルあなたにベアトリーチェの対戦相手たる資格がなかった私もうかつだったわ資格のない駒に張ってたなんて私の完敗だわベアトリーチ
負けも勝ちもないただ対戦相手が消えるだけで元からいなかったというべき
じゃあよ俺は 誰なんだよ。俺は親父やおふくろの子じゃ。は誰なんだ。何なんだ。おふくろの子じゃないってんならなんだよ。縁もゆかりもない赤の他人の子だとか。
それならば金蔵の血は引いていないことになる。いずれにせよそなたにこのゲームの対戦資格はない。
バカなバカ。
もうよい。もともとそなたが後宮バトラでない可能性だから問わねばならぬ。本当のバトラなら知っていることを聞かね。残念。そなたがひょっとしたら本当に後宮バトラであるかもしれない。
Remember that? Remember Kumasawa's son had that picture of her having that 1 in quadrillion chance of a miracle? A little callback to that. Wonder what that means. Oops.
わらわも1000兆分の1の奇跡にかけたのだ。だがやはりそなたは同姓同名の別人だった。
Bit by bit, Battler's form began to be clouded in darkness. Well, maybe it was the other way around. The whole world was becoming clouded in darkness, leaving only Battler behind. Battler was down on all fours, hanging his head and repeatedly questioning himself. However, he would never be given an answer. In the world stained with darkness, Beato spoke something and then Valente ran up to Battler, yelling something very quickly. But it already seemed very far away and didn't reach his ears. Then he, not knowing who he was, erased himself. Aw, Battler. He stopped thinking. Will he start thinking anytime soon? Let's see. We'll see right after this break, guys. VRB.